All right. Welcome to the New Earth events featured experiences. Today we're talking to Dean Price about his Sedona experience. So tell us about yourself and what you got going on in Sedona.
Okay. Well, I'm Dean Price. I'm an astrologer and a polarity therapist. And I do events normally all around California. And right now I'm doing events in Sedona in the Vortexes, where we're taking individuals and small groups of people into vortexes like Boynton Canyon or Bell Rock, uh, up the trail to Kachina Woman, places like that, where we're doing hikes with astrology readings and uh, healings based on your astrology chart. I'll show you a kind of a diagram of how that works, because the astrology is really a good tool for understanding what's going on with the energy body. So you'll see in this diagram I just put up that the planets are the chakras in the same order in the body as they are in the heavens. So if I see that you have two planets opposite each other, there may be a block or some stress or a conflict. And so, for example, if it was the full moon when you were born, the sun is opposite the moon. So I would do some energy healing, connecting the third eye, which is the sun, the visual center, which is the sunlight, and the moon, which is nourishment, so that would be the solar plexus or the stomach. And I would connect those points together and help you integrate those two things. So I do a reading of the chart, and then we do some optimizing or clearing or tuning up of the pattern of the energy body based on your astrology chart.
So why Sedona? Why these vortexes? Why are you doing this there as opposed to anywhere else?
Well, Sedona is an amazing place where it's really kind of an amplifier. I believe the rocks are red because there's so much iron in them. And the iron acts like a magnet. It creates all this energy uh, which attracts things into manifestation. And so when you do the healing work in the vortex, it is like an amplifier where it magnetizes whatever your intention is to clear something or to manifest something. And then we do uh, what I call spirit touch, where we're touching the points, and we're also invoking, like Kachina Woman, who is the spirit of the rock in the one of the trails in Boynton Canyon, and that's considered like the root chakra energy. Uh, she's kind of like the Mother Earth, and it's kind of like being in the womb of Mother Earth, and then you can basically give birth to whatever your intention might be. There's a image of uh, Kachina Woman, uh, and that picture is taken from one of the spots under a tree near her where we do a lot of the healing work. And it really is very grounding. It's like entering the womb of Mother Earth and then rebirthing yourself or giving birth to something that you would like to manifest. Um, so it's really an amplifier. It amplifies my own intuitive abilities, my healing abilities. It combines them with uh, the spirits that inhabit these vortexes, and also we work with the archangels and the spirit guides and other angels and deities and spirits that inhabit these places.
Can you tell me any specific experiences that you've had up there, or anybody you've worked with?
Sure. One of the first trips I took into Boynton Canyon, I went there with some friends from California, and we walked along these trails. This is a trail that we were walking on behind me right now, and as we got deeper into the canyon, we found a spot. These are some pictures of that Boynton Canyon area. We found a spot and we decided to do some grounding and healing work. I was feeling a little bit out of my body at the moment, so were my friends. So we did some energy clearing to get fully into our bodies. Here's another picture of Boynton Canyon. And so when we were finished, we felt very grounded. I went back home. And at that time, I was just living in an Airbnb. I had just arrived in Sedona like a month before that, and we hadn't found a permanent place to live yet. And here's a picture where I was living. This picture was taken a few days before when it snowed. So we were actually walking that trail and there was still snow on the ground. But this was where I was living at the Airbnb. And when I returned home that day, the owner of the house was acting kind of crazy. And it became clear that we didn't really wish to live there anymore at that Airbnb. So we just continued the manifestation because we were sort of being grounded into Mother Earth that day. And so we just said, an invocation of some angels and pitching a woman and Mother Earth goddess, and we just requested to upgrade our living situation. And immediately we received a text that somebody had a 3-bedroom house available, and it was only a block away. So we just went around the block and came to the place where I am right now. And the owner said, yeah, it was available if we could come up with first and last month's rent and cash by the next day. It was ours. And we did, miraculously. We came up with all the cash that we needed. And within 24 hours, I was now totally rooted into Sedona as a resident with a 3-bedroom house. And before that, I was like really wondering how I was going to make that happen, because the housing market here is so tight. We didn't know hardly anybody. And for every place that became available, there were dozens and dozens of people competing to have it. And somehow just within a half hour of mentioning it, it showed up, we were there, and we were invited to move in. So that was pretty amazing. And then there's another story. The next time I walked that exact same trail in Boynton Canyon with another friend who was moving to Sedona, wasn't sure if she'd be able to make a living here. And we did some clearing work on each other, some astrology and some healing. And, I found out what she was good at, and she was very good at doing this sort of thing. She did some work on me, I did some work on her. And then we were walking back down the trail, back to the parking lot, and I said, you could probably make a good living in Sedona. I run into so many people just on this trail that could use some help, that need some grounding or whatever it is, that I think you could make a living just passing out flyers on this trail. And as I said that, a guy walked past us. He was walking faster than we were. he had hiked almost all the way to the top of 3.5 mile trail there and was on his way back and walking really fast. And he was right in front of us while we were talking. So he heard what we said, and he turned around and he said, I couldn't help but hear what you were talking about, and I'm going through a really rough experience right now. I feel kind of out of my body. I'm going through a divorce of a 30-year marriage, and I could really use to get clear and grounded, and so I suggested to him, well, talk to my friend here. She's clairvoyant, does healing work. She could probably help you quite a bit. So we exchanged phone numbers and websites, and within a few days, he was her client and was paying her for private sessions. And literally, I had said that 5 seconds before that conversation happened. So literally everything that we talk about, intentions that we set, wishes that we have, that we would like to have granted, things of that nature seem to magically manifest almost instantly when I'm walking on that trail. So this is now where I am taking other people that, I have a promotion on the local calendar, and we're putting it in other places, and I'm getting clients who are coming to Sedona and would like to have an experience in the vortexes with astrology and healing, and they'd like a magical experience, and almost everybody has something they'd like to manifest. So this is what I am doing now.
So how would I book my own experience with you?
Well, I have a website, and there's a link below this video. It's astrologyhoroscopetoday.com, and there you can book a Sedona Vortex experience on the calendar. We do them in 90-minute increments, so that if you have a group of 2 or 3 or 4 people, you could all book right in a row every 90 minutes. And in that 90 minutes, you'll get an hour of reading, healing, grounding, granting of wishes, and things of that nature. And the rest of the time we'll spend hiking. And your group can just meet at the time of the first person at the trailhead. Most of the time we do Boynton Canyon, so it would be the Boynton Canyon trailhead. If you prefer a different vortex, like Bell Rock, for example, is a really good trail, has a lot of nice spaces where we can do healing work. You can just call me. There's a phone number on the website, and we can agree to do it in a different place. But everybody can meet at the time of the first person's appointment, and we can hike together, and then I'll spend time individually for an hour with each person.
Great. So pretend that I've already gone ahead and either talked to you and then booked an appointment, or just booked an appointment below this video. What do I need to do? Am I going to be getting an email? What are the next steps?
You will get an email, and it'll tell you things like to meet at the time of the first person's appointment at the trailhead, like I just said. It'll have my phone number in it. It'll tell you if you'd rather do a different vortex, call me and we can work that out. It'll, before you even book your appointment, it's going to ask you for your date of birth, place of birth, and if you know at the time of birth. So make sure that I have as accurate as possible information about each person's astrology. So it's just going to give you those kinds of instructions. Also going to make suggestions to where, like, good hiking boots or something that's not slippery because those rocks can be slippery. We try to stick to trails that are easy and not dangerous. But you know, when I'm doing your friend's reading and you're off on your own, who knows what uh, rocks you may try to climb. There are literally, if you see that picture behind me, that's Kachina woman. There, almost every time that I'm there, there's people climbing right up the side of that Kachina woman formation there, and so people climb all kinds of crazy things here, and you may or may not have the right equipment for that. So just make sure that you have at least good shoes, a good hat, because you can have a lot of sun on your face, and be sure to bring water because you can get dehydrated if you're in there for 2 or 3 or 4 hours without water. So it's going to give you suggestions like that to make the best of your experience in case you're not familiar with the territory. So, but like I said, feel free to call me if you have any questions or you want to individually tailor your experience in some different way than the normal way.
Okay, great. Well, I guess I'll see you on the trail.
Nice. We're going to have a great time. I look forward to seeing you too.